Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates, and as we continue our esteemed directors week, we continue with Martin Scorsese since he has a movie this year called Killers of the Flower Moon, and we're going back to his earlier ones with DiCaprio at least, and Matt Damon called The Departed, as you've seen in the thumbnail description, and of course Jack Nicholson. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host John, and yeah, how did you hear about this movie?
First time watching it was with a friend of mine who was a very big, mafia guy fan. He's a cinephile now, but that was my first time watching The Departed, and I think it was probably no, it is the one of the only Scorsese movies that I am willing to watch again.
Yeah,
As stressful as it was,
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it, it felt so fucking good. I'm like the cat and mouse chase when it comes to was his name Colin
yeah,
and Billy
yeah.
was so fucking good.
Yeah,
And I don't know, it's just yeah. I am happy to say that this is my first ever Scorsese movie that I will watch again. Yay!
approved. Yeah. Well, I got recommended this by our forever movie recommendation channel, Watch Mojo, and it was the scene where Jack Nicholson was beating poor Billy with a shoe. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Are you okay? Yeah, like, oh shit.
And as you mentioned, just the cat and mouse game of will Billy or Colin get figured out? Like, will they figure out that Colin is a mole for the mafia and they figure out that Billy is a mole for the police department?
Hmm.
And it's that cat and mouse game that is the main driving force for this movie. Because needless to say, the three main leads in DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and Jack Nicholson are all fantastic. Like, they all steal the scene, especially Jack Nicholson.
Hmm. Yeah, sure he gets killed off in the middle of the film. Spoilers.
Yeah,
He is the big bad so far.
yeah, yeah.
But his performance being the mobster, this very charismatic mobster.
Yeah.
So good. Like when he kills, I forgot what he says in the beach where he kills this lady.
She felt funny.
Oh, she felt funny. I was like, knowing the fact that it was ad libbed, I was like, I think, I think Jack Nicholson is a psychopath.
I mean, he did play the Joker in another lifetime, so there's that. But yeah, he's fantastic. And like, it's interesting to see the two paths of Colin and Billy, where Colin somewhat has an easier life. Like, he gets promoted pretty quickly in the police department and made detective, and he's the head of the team that is looking for Frank, even though he is with Frank. While Billy has it harder because he has to prove that one, he's not a cop, two, he has to rise up the ranks in the mob. And as we mentioned, that scene where Frank's just beating him, asking him like, "Are you a cop? Swear to on your mother's grave you're not a cop." He's like, "I am not a cop. I am not a cop. I swear it." You're like, poor guy.
Yeah, like his mom just died, and hey, I would say there's a little bit of racism when it came to him trying to get into the police force
Yeah,
from Mark Wahlberg when he's like, "Hey, yo, you half Irish. I don't trust you." I'm like, wait, hold up.
yeah. It's a lot of like, politically not safe for words here, and you're like, of course,
Yeah, yeah,
that makes
we're
sense.
not gonna say them.
Of course.
Yeah,
But since we're from the Philippines, it's nice to see. It's interesting to see the culture of Boston, and we're like, oh, so that's how it
okay,
works.
I don't, okay. From what I've learned, I don't think we should generalize Boston.
I mean, it's just nice to see like not every city in America is like copy paste from the other. Like New York is different from
Oh,
Boston, Chicago is different from Boston. And you're like, oh, cool. It's not, but yeah, like Colin has it easy. Like he even has a relationship with Madeline, who's played by Vera Farmiga, and she's, I don't know, a psych for the police precinct of police people who need help, and that's what her job is. But Colin gets to be with her, and life is going well for Colin. Well, poor Billy has to witness horrible, horrible deeds by Frenchie and the other mob members, where it's like, I think that guy was innocent. Why did you kill him?
wait, I was like, did he go for her because he found her attractive, or did he go for her because he knew that's where the moles would go, just to hey, this crime life ain't for me, but I'm losing my mind. Help me keep this job up, kind of thing.
Probably both. More, I think more
Yeah.
and more to keep an eye on the police department too, because it's after they tried to arrest Frank for selling the biochips to the Chinese, and like they figure out like, oh, there's a guy in Frank's mob who's informing the police, and Colin has to tell Frank is like, hey, there's someone in your unit that's snitching on you, and then that's where again the cat and mouse game just gets more intense, and you're like, who's gonna fuck up first?
Yeah, and I would like to say that, like, sure, we're jumping a little bit ahead, but what I liked about this movie was you didn't feel safe
Yeah,
at all. Like, you put yourself in the shoes of Billy. Billy is our main character here, not Colin, even
Yeah.
though he kind of feels like the main character.
yeah,
Billy's this wreck, and you could feel that I can't say shit to anybody because I don't know if somebody will snitch on me or not.
yeah, and have me
It's-
killed.
Yeah, and even Mark Wahlberg's character, I forgot his name, Dignam.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dignam even says we can't show you who our moles are because there's too many possibilities of you being the mole for the mob. And I was like, shit.
yeah,
And you'll start like later on, you'll start seeing like people like shoot one guy you thought they were teammates, and you see another guy shoot another. I'm like, who the fuck is going on? Yeah,
Right.
as a moviegoer, you would like to know the information
yeah.
to keep you on the edge of your seat. They do the same thing to you as they do with the cops. They don't tell you shit.
Yeah. Poor Billy's just losing his mind, and even Dignam threatens him when he's like, what if I just walk? And he's like, fine. If you walk, we'll just erase you from the police files, and you're just another crook on the street. He's like, fuck! What the fuck do I do now?
Again, that gray area of who are the good guys and who are the bad guys.
And it's the simplest thing that fucks Colin over, because he has the file of like, because Frank's already paranoid, so he asks every mobster to like, can you please sign your credit card details, your name, and here in this folder, and he gives the folder to Colin, and Billy follows the trail. And that from that adult movie theater where Frank shows a little bit too much of himself, and you're like, you know what? I'm not surprised by Martin Scorsese at this point, but I didn't expect to see, Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah, you didn't expect Jack Nicholson to jack it, so
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, and you're like, I hope for Colin's sake, even though you're not completely rooting for him, it's like, I hope for his character's sake he doesn't put the folder in the place where someone does find it. But yeah, everything goes ahead in that big raid where they arrest Frank, and we find out earlier on that Frank himself is a FBI informant, so nobody's really safe. So even Colin could be fucked over by Frank. And it's like, fuck. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? It's like, I would never betray you. You know me.
That's always the fucking thing. Like, everybody has to play it up. Everybody gotta play it up. You gotta remove that fucking wire
Yeah.
every fucking time. Yeah.
Though, for most movies, when you kill the main big bad in the middle act, it's like, that's the point where the movie dips. But
Yeah.
here it just rises up because you're like, so what the fuck's gonna happen now? And then when Billy comes in after they're like, alright, you're safe to come out now, and he sees that folder with Colin, and you're like, oh, I love how it's a simple thing that fucks you over.
Yeah. No, we also kind of glossed over, like, one of the cops that was actually on Billy's side, where
Oh, poor guy.
yeah, I forgot his name, but he's trying to get him out.
Yeah,
Like, we could tell that this life isn't for you,
yeah,
and like, as he tries to get him out, he got ratted on,
yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, we got the most location." I was like, "Fuck," and he dies in the process.
Yeah, it's such a brutal death, and even though you've seen 100 Scorsese movies, or a lot of Scorsese movies at this point, that still like shocks you, because he just lands in front of Billy, and you're like, fuck. Jesus Christ.
And like the mob that he works for passes by. You don't see him like tearing up, like, I knew this guy. I was like, that wasn't suspicious.
Yeah, he's just like, I just got here. They're like, sure. And then one of them figures out, because it's like, I texted you the wrong address, but you came to the right spot. Huh. But he dies because he got shot. Yeah. Everything goes ahead when Billy like blackmails Colin, and like he delivers the tape recorders of Frank to his house, and then Vera Farmiga like plays it, and he's like, "Oh shit, my boyfriend's part of the mob."
And I'm
Fuck.
pregnant with his baby.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Fine, I'll meet you in this place where Martin Sheen's character died," and Billy arrests him. But at the same time, the African American guy from Transformers, is also in this movie, comes along. And he's like, "I don't know what to do." He's the I ate the whole plate guy.
Yeah, I know. But he's the guy who was like in the Force with Billy
Yeah,
at the start of the movie, and like he runs into them. He's like, "I don't know who to trust. I don't know who the mole is," because really, you think Billy would play the whole double agent thing?
yeah. It's like,
Sorry, triple agent.
yeah, but Bill's like, "You know me," and he just goes to the elevator, and poor Colin's like, just kill me. I'm as good as that anyway." And then Billy's like, "I am killing you." Then the elevator door opens, and then Billy gets shot in the head, and you're like,
And it just popped. I was like,
"Yeah."
"Then what now?" I was like, "What fucking happens now?"
I had to pause the movie and be like, "Did that just happen? Did he just
Right?
get shot in the head? Who wins then?"
Yeah, to us we're like, "Oh well, shit, Colin wins."
Yeah.
And then you see like, "Oh shit, there's another guy played by the Mandarin."
Oh yeah. James.
Yeah, in
Batchdale?
the Iron Man 3 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's part
Oh
of
wait,
the
no, that wasn't the Mandarin. He was one of those like soldiers.
Yeah.
My bad. I
Yeah.
think that guy in 13 hours, whatever.
Yeah. Like he's like, "I'm with you," and then Colin's like, "All right," and he shoots him in the head, and then also shoots the cop. So it looks like one big shootout between the three of them, and Colin's like, "Oh, I had to pull my gun out in self-defense," and he's hailed as a hero, but we all know the truth. Madeline knows the truth, and she just like walks by him when he's like, "What about the baby?" She's like, "Fuck you. You don't get to have this baby."
Yeah, and it's such an intense scene too, since like their Billy is being buried,
Yeah.
and you see them apart. Usually, couples would be together in one side, but they're like, "No, I know what you are." And like Colin goes back home, and then lo and behold, Mark Wahlberg comes back after being fired. Oh no, he didn't. He quit.
Yeah.
He just takes matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and the last shot is literally of a rat by the city, and you're like, I guess no one wins in this story. It's a never-ending cycle.
Exactly. It's nobody wins.
And for like all the Martin Scorsese movies that are like hard to watch, I feel like this is one of the most digestible ones, because there's like, it's not as depressing as like the ending of Goodfellas or The Irishman, or
No, because in the Goodfellas and the Irishman, these people just grew old and were like, we made a shit ton of money in our youth. We did horrible things to get that kind of money. Now we're facing the consequences of it by dying alone. Family doesn't love us. Kids resent us. And you're like, damn, I wish I just got shot in an elevator.
yeah,
So I feel like I was like, okay, cool, just kill me at the end of a fucking Martin Scorsese movie because that's more of a better ending.
then just living your life where everybody hates you. Definitely.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to watch Robert De Niro just slumped over in a wheelchair, just like, knowing that his family doesn't love him?
Yeah. Anyway, what would you rate The Departed?
Ah, man. Yeah. I would say it is one of my favorite movies. Though. Is it a slow burn? God, no. Is it intense the entire fucking way? Yes. Is the story really good? Yes. Is this characters compelling? Yes. I can't see any fault with this movie.
Yeah.
I gotta give it 10 out of 10. It is Martin Scorsese's best, in my opinion. Sorry to people who like The Godfather. This one just... If a movie can make me want to watch it again, no matter how brutal or depressing or fucked up the story is, that says a lot. So, yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. One of my favorite movies and one of my favorite Martin Scorsese movies.
Godfather? He didn't direct The Godfather.
My bad.
Oh,
Look, these mafia movies are starting to melt together.
melt together. Yeah. I'll also give this a 10 out of 10. Like, it seems like an easy give, but like, there's nothing really wrong with this movie for me. Like, I can watch it over and over again and still get shocked by poor Billy's death. And speaking of Billy, like all the performances of the three main leads and Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, and Leonardo DiCaprio are just fantastic to watch. Like you see why Jack Nicholson was one of the most celebrated actors of his day, and you see why Matt Damon and DiCaprio are the most celebrated actors today. And you're like, Jesus Christ, this is such a fantastic movie. It's almost like how star-studded Django Unchained is, and you're like, everybody's stealing the scenes, and no one's stealing it from
I
each
know
other.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody has their own like special part. We're like, yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, you doing good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good movie. Mobster movies aren't for everybody, but if you're into mobster movies, I suggest this one for you guys. But yeah, that's been our video on The Departed. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Martin Scorsese movie? I know I've asked this a couple of times already, but your answers might change from time to time, so who knows?
But yeah, also new people might come in, so
yeah. But yeah, if you want to see more of us, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on TikTok and Spotify. Spotify to hear us on the go. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and we occasionally react to trailers there. Individually, you can find me at Delphus1995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnBJM_ on Instagram. It is my art account.
Alright. And until the next movie, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.